No one look at the screen for me.
I can see clearly.
Everyone, please. What is up, YouTube?
That way it's not just me.
Yo, what is up, YouTube? It's your boy T-Boix back at it again. We're at the Buzz Music Review Podcast. We're Social Biz Productions. Today we have Dookie by Green Day, presented by
Michael Erickson.
I'm Danny. I have the hiccups.
Dan.
So pardon me.
And
Exhibit A.
our special guest for this episode, Mr. Zach. I'm not gonna dox him.
Easily.
I'll bleep it out. A lot of bleep. It'll be fun.
And Michael will check the camera about biz times per episode. So
Gotta make sure it's recording.
stay tuned.
We lost the new abnormal to
It's a new drinking game. Every time Michael checks the camera, you drink.
I didn't get my. This isn't taking the
Oh,
camera.
take two.
It's getting my drink. All right. So as he said, we listened to Dookie this week by Green Day, their second best album.
The best album that Green Day has released.
Probably the best album. I don't know. Did
And
you
the
listen
second
to?
one is an American Idiot.
Did you listen to Revolution Radio?
Unfortunately.
I saw them live.
As did I.
For Revolution Radio?
I think it was that tour.
Probably. I
I
don't know.
think so. No, you know what? Yeah, it was that tour.
So how this podcast is usually run, we each listen to the album multiple times, then we ranked the songs from best to worst, and we will go through song by song and see how we each ranked each one, discuss why we put it high-low, however it went.
Yeah. I'm gonna preface all this by saying that from track 1 to track 14, they're all ranked 1 in my head, so my rankings really don't matter.
Well, track 15 is one of my favorites.
Track
I was all by
15
myself.
is.
All by myself.
I'm
All right.
Pretty sure track 15 is number 15 on my list.
Let us begin with Burnout.
Zach, easy.
Mr. Easily, 11.
Easily.
So,
Yeah. This one, I gotta say, I'm a little upset with how.
Hey,
this album opens.
Really?
Before he says anything, can we, get a little preview?
I just
Oh,
sang
yes,
for
yes,
you,
yes, yes,
didn't
of
you hear me?
course.
I sounded just like Billy Joe.
Thank you.
Oh, dude.
That I can't hear it.
I'll turn it up.
Are you
Remote, though.
upset by the fact that it literally just goes into singing? Like, immediately, there's no preface to this album, you just get blasted with sound on open? Or you think it's just a
You know
bad
what?
No,
track?
that's fine. That's
You know
That's
what?
fine.
That might be a great way to put
It should
it.
be fine.
However, I do think this track is.
This
A
episode is
little
brought to
bit
you by
more lacking.
Funsies. Thank you, Funsies.
This doesn't help that everybody's talking.
Sorry.
somebody.
What are you
Somebody
doing?
say fund it.
Zach, please. I'm sorry. As you were
You're
saying,
fine. I just thought it, it's a decent song. It's a really good song, actually.
Well, every song on this album is fantastic.
You're right.
Well,
Most of, if not every single song
well,
on this
that
album
is a hot
actually
take.
very, very good.
It's not very
There are
good.
maybe a couple that might be a little out there. Honestly, for me, this might be one of
I
them.
wouldn't say
That's
every
surprising.
song.
your point that
What?
this is the opening is why I ranked it not. I mean, I put it fifth, which is high, but
Yeah.
I don't think it was a good.
Where did I put it?
I agree.
I don't think it's a good opening,
Six.
but I'm gonna say that it hits the ground running, and it shows the character of the album.
Mhm.
Like almost all of the songs on this album are that kind of energy.
Mhm.
So it hits the character
Absolutely.
of the album.
If it wasn't the opening, I'd probably put it a little higher. I like the song a lot. I don't know. There's better openings on
I
this
think
album.
I just think overall there are better songs. To Tyler's point, he said, is it a bad track or is it just a bad opening? I don't think it's necessarily a bad track. However, I don't think it's one of the stronger ones on this album.
I'd like to see how it would feel if we were to listen to that track on debut in 1993.
Well, I'm
when
sure
you
you-
haven't heard a sound like that before.
It would be
I
electrifying.
feel like it's very
Him and but we're listening to it in
We're
2020.
listening to it in
So
2020, but it's still
Take me back.
This album released far before any of us were born.
Yes.
Is another
by far.
By far.
I mean,
quite a
biz
while.
years.
I mean, clearly based on my
That's quite a
based
That's
on
a-
based
that's
on
a
based
lot
on,
of time.
based on my pole
Yeah,
position, I didn't not enjoy this
Yeah.
song.
It's good tune.
But I wouldn't say that I would listen to it any differently because I
Okay.
don't know what I would have felt in 1990
That's fair.
because I was not alive.
I was just swimming around.
I know. But I feel like
I
it's a
was
good way
not
to
even
open this-
swimming around.
I feel like
I
it's a
wasn't
good way to
even
open
thought
this
of.
album thinking
I wasn't even in God's plan back then.
that back then this is pretty new of a sound.
Whichever
It is.
god
Yeah,
there,
it's actually a
there
great-
is.
This
We're
is,
non-denominational
like,
here.
one of the first punk pop albums that was ever released. Like the
True.
closest thing to this from before, it's probably like Nirvana's. What's it called? Is it a self-titled album? No, that's the first
I
one.
don't know.
The one with the kid's penis on it.
Oh, that's a good start. It's a good start.
It's true.
So it's on the album.
Is that self-titled?
Anyway,
it's
moving
either
on.
self-titled or it's
Well, how about we go to the next song?
We can, cut that part
That's
out.
just the name of the song.
Having a blast. Is that
Pretty
the song?
uni-
Never mind.
Pretty
That's
universal.
really mental.
Yeah,
Pretty universal. Okay.
Just meh.
that's where I had it. I
It's-
didn't.
It also
it's-
feels
it's
like
meh, but
can
it's
this
not
get
the
over so I
worst.
can hear Chump go into long
It
view?
wasn't
God.
bad enough to rank low, like in the double digits,
It
but
was-
it was not good enough to be like
It was like
in the top of the.
it was like probably half of the songs in this album where it was like, this is average. It's nothing special. I said half of the songs, not all of the songs.
Maybe like 90%.
It's like average, nothing special. It's all sounding this exact same.
Well, that's
There's nothing different from the song before to the song after. Prove me wrong.
That's the point.
yeah, that's kind of the point. They sound they're all fantastic.
Yeah, they're meant to sound
Down the line, aside from
But there are a
That's why the
few
album's so short.
outliers that are either special or absolutely atrocious compared to
nothing
the
absolutely
album.
atrocious.
Nothing compared to last week's album. But
I don't think
we're
there's
not going to go there.
I don't think there's anything absolutely atrocious on this album.
No,
Album
not at all.
sound.
To be fair,
I was saying in comparison to the album.
like if this was a tier list, it'd be like half S tier and then like A, B. There'd be nothing really like bad though.
Like,
So you'd be tiering it
I
based
would
off
not-
of other
Like
I
S
would,
to F,
I would
like based off
listen.
other songs, not based off of the album itself.
based off other songs. If I had to
I
like
agree.
rank
Yeah, B,
100 songs, these were part of those. None of these would come
B
below.
would maybe be the lowest.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I completely agree. Like
Even all by
if,
myself is like
if
a
we
nice
were
album.
comparing
Like,
last
just
week's
me.
album
Yeah,
to
that's a
this
good
one,
It's a good joke.
every single song in this album would rank higher than every single song on last week's album.
Well, that's not true. But for
No,
personal,
In-
it is absolutely
Like
true.
I
me.
said, in my opinion, and in
What
everybody
would you
else's
put above
except
a song
yours.
on here from question mark?
changes.
You've
Is that intentional?
wow.
Well, because I prefer.
Moving
I
on.
prefer the sound of changes to this sound. I prefer like the sad, slow sound. I mean, I like punk rock.
Chump.
Fantastic piece of equipment.
I mean,
Carried by
As a matter of fact-
Longview.
as a matter of
it's
fact,
good
we can-
because it leads in the
Carried
long.
by Longview.
Okay,
I
hold
looked
on,
at it
hold on.
objectively.
Please.
If we were to
Let's-
say
let's
this was
hear-
Jump and
let's-
Longview, I would put it higher.
Let's hear the opening for it. Just
It's-
really standard, really simple.
It's fine, but when we hit the, where's the?
Here it comes. Yeah, here it comes. Right after this,
I enjoy the drum solo.
fantastic drum solo.
Drums and the bass lines in this album are actually fantastic.
And then
Some of them key highlights.
start to roll out.
That transition is phenomenal.
It's amazing.
Probably the best transition on the album, right? I mean,
It's the only one that
that really is a
interludes-
transition. Yeah.
interludes,
There's no-
Yeah, I agree.
Oh God.
We'll
Rock
pause
it
it
up
here.
long. We can't. We'll get there. We'll get there.
Anyway,
But
so
my lips
I did like that song, like,
I do too. Even
I
though
liked
put it
it.
at 11.
which is why it's decently high
Because
on
I
my
think
list.
that every
I did
song
like
on this
it.
album is S tier.
I like Green Day
and I don't know how
overall,
to rank them.
but like some of their songs just like they drag on. It gets boring. They're all the fucking same.
I wouldn't necessarily. Yes, they have a very similar sound, but I don't think they
They're
drag
all
on.
the same.
No.
They're
think a
all
single song.
incredibly similar in terms of their structure. Yeah.
Yes.
They're all
They all
built
they all
same.
sound the same,
Time out.
Like, one more minute.
One more minute.
which makes it a little bit boring to me. Like last week's album was too different
Oh, yeah,
because every single
yes.
song none of the songs matched.
but
But this album, it's like next song.
Have you?
Next
but
song.
that's just not true.
like, sure, it's like hard
Oh,
electric
yeah,
guitar
the
with
lyrics-
a great
the
drum
lyrics-
line.
Like
The lyrics
Longview,
change.
She,
The lyrics change,
Bowling
and they'll
By
change
Myself.
the
Coming
beat by like
Clean and FOD all sound like
they'll
none
change
of the other songs on
from
this
like a
album.
3/4 to a biz
Well, they
6,
just-
but
Right. Take it small
That's-
time out. We're gonna.
that's about it.
Wasn't my point.
It's a legality issue between Canon and the U.S. Department of Taxation. If a video camera records for more than 12 or more than 4 gigabytes or more than half hour, this hits 4 gigabytes. It's a video camera.
So there's how many songs? There's 15 songs on this album. I'd say at least 6 of them sound very different from
The other.
the first 3 on this album. Which the first 3 songs of this album have a very similar song structure and very similar sound to them. And then you're following Chump with a song that there's no other song on this album that sounds like Longview.
Yes.
Yep.
Alright, shall we move to Longview?
Yeah, we
Yes.
should have a Longview.
Fantastic. Great
Number
song.
1. Wow.
I debated.
One.
I don't understand how
That
this
is a
not the
hot
best
take.
song
I'll
on this album.
I'll give you. It's my most listened to song on the album.
So,
I'll-
you've overdone it for yourself.
I went through like a 2-month span where I played Longview. Like I just loved the bass line. There's something like earwormy about the bass line, and I just played it because I was like, oh, it's just so it hits that nerve.
No, it just gets
So
the-
it's overplayed for me.
See, there's a different song on this album that's ever played for me. There's 2 songs on this album. That are
Oh, it may or may not be the next song
Let's give Longview a play because it's.
It's fantastic.
because you,
I prefer
And it comes
you,
right
you
in
guessed
from,
it.
from Chump, right? It's a perfect transition.
The transition is
this
beautiful.
bass line is phenomenal.
I
Oh.
forgot that I had
Things in your head.
pieces
It's just-
in my hat.
It sounds like nothing else
Yes.
on the album. And it's a song about jerking off.
It's so funny. The first time I listened to it, I wasn't sure. Like years ago, I was like, "What's that song
neither was I, 'cause
about?"
I was like 2
Yes.
the first time I heard this album.
Well, I was probably like in like middle school. I was like, "What is Longview about?" But I was like a year later. I was like,
You're
"Oh."
looking at
I think I was probably
You're looking
like
at it nice and long right
15.
there.
I've known this. I've known like this entire album my whole life. I think it probably took me till I was like 15, where I was like, "This is about jacking off. This guy's about to jack off.
Not locking the door, risking it all.
Bite my lip. What a fucking
Curl
band.
my
It's a
toes.
It's by far the best song of this album. Maybe. There's nothing by far about this album.
There's
It's
nothing
all
by
the same.
far.
It's all
It's so
They're all
good.
very, very good.
Yeah,
I'm,
like
I'm surprised you put this as number 1 over something like Welcome to Paradise.
That's overdone for me.
Well, I understand it's overdone, but it's just
This is something that I spent a lot of like ages like infant to like 14 listening to the radio,
sure.
and through that entire time, Welcome to Paradise is a radio
Well, radio,
song.
yes.
radio. The problem with
So-
radio is they play the same songs over
And it's
and
also-
over, and you'll hear them multiple times a day,
Yeah.
which is the issue that I have with radio.
Also-
Welcome to Paradise is also the most poppy song on this album, in
My-
my opinion.
That's fair.
My issue
That's
is-
and
fair.
that sound
That's
runs
fair.
stale in my head.
my issue is similar to the radio issue, where a bunch of my like friends would play, and it'd be like the punk song is fucking Welcome to Paradise. So it's
That's
like,
not even a punk song.
but I know, but it's like people that don't know music that well.
Yeah.
Like that's the one.
All
If
of
we're putting
these
in
songs are punk songs.
They're all pop punk.
pop
True.
punk.
Punk pop.
Pop punk.
I'm not arguing.
Punk
Doesn't
with
make a
that.
difference.
Please, dear God. Shall we move on?
Say
Or
it
is that
10
sort of-
times fast. Punk,
do you think we
punk,
discussed
punk,
Longview?
punk,
Any
punk,
other
I mean, it is-
thoughts?
I mean, I guess there's not a whole lot more we have to say. This Tyler's number 1, which I mean, I gotta go back and just say
I'm gonna-
I'm kind of.
What
I
else?
shouldn't say I'm blown
Surprise.
away because you've loved this song forever,
See-
but I almost feel like you also are kind of half trying to choose a song as your number 1 that might not be the
The popular.
popular.
No, there was no doubt in my mind that this was going to be the number
Okay.
one when
Okay.
we came in.
See,
This
this as one, I'm not surprised by. it.
what are you trying to say? That I was looking to have something.
He's
that's
original.
My number 1 that's different from other people's number 1.
Not
I
necessarily
mean,
saying
kind
that,
of.
but kind of a little
Because
bit.
Welcome to Paradise is probably my most skippable song on this album.
Wow.
See, I don't agree with that, but
I'm gonna
I can
admit,
understand the
Welcome
number
to
1 place
Paradise,
here.
I don't.
Huh?
I don't entirely remember, but I don't believe Welcome to Paradise is high on my list.
Welcome to. I
I-
prefer the. I prefer
Wow.
the.
This
the
was
punk-
like of all the songs you could not be surprised. Like I'm not surprised by this number 1. I think it's very fair number 1.
I'm surprised that you would be surprised that this is number 1.
Yeah.
In fact, I thought going into this that this would be most people's number
I was expecting you to have this high, like
Yeah.
second or I don't know, second first. I had it, but then I as I re-ranked, I kind of like I
Well,
shift.
because then I thought about because I've just thought about like my entire life. Those there's a couple 3 other songs that
Which
absolutely have reigned over the rest of these.
I would
You know what
agree.
mean?
Strong. I can definitely agree with that point.
I'm gonna agree.
I don't know. I guess
So
it's just me.
move on and see
Yeah,
where.
let's move
Yeah, we
on.
can move.
Welcome
There it is.
There it is. It's
There it is.
overplayed, but God,
Like
it's good.
I said, I
It's
lied.
Michael's number one, huh?
You did
And
the
me
Lied.
and Dan both called this as number 2.
I told you I didn't remember, but
It's just gas the whole way
The
through.
whole-
fantastic.
The song is.
This is
They go.
It's right out of the gate. It's like nothing.
Longview
see,
was
this
a
is
nice.
this is the kind of when I think Green Day, I think this kind of song, like fucking horse out of the gates at the fucking Kentucky Derby. They're just going.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
No, they do. Well, not only that, it's just, yeah. I mean, I guess to the
Yeah.
point that they just come out of the gate swinging. I mean, I guess I did say that about Burnout. However, I feel like this song has a lot more character to it. For example, if you keep playing this for a minute, once it's getting just to like right before the chorus, you know, coming up into it, they bring it back a little bit. They almost change it up.
They gave that little pause.
Not only that, but they change it up here. Goes up an octave for his voice.
Not an octave.
It's not an octave.
Key
He
change.
goes
raises.
It's a key change.
It's a key change. I should have said octave. You're right. It's a key
Temporary key change.
It's,
I like
it's,
this.
it's different. It's different. This whole song, and then
It's the most storied song in the whole album
yes,
as well.
yes.
Like there's actual like progression in like a period of time of his life throughout this song. It's like the only song that tells a story other than like, hey, I jacked off.
Longview was
Or
a
hey, I'm
nice
really,
half
Hey,
I'm
I
really
jacked
sad.
off.
Or like, hey, I'm really lonely. That's like the obvious like theme of the entire album.
My-
Whereas this one's like, you know, at the beginning, it's been 3 weeks since I left home. You know, like blah blah blah. Second chorus. It's been like 6 whole months. You know, there's like a story to the song, kind of. Like they put more thought into the lyrics from this song than they did on any of the other
Does
ones.
he
I
write
think,
all the
in my
lyrics
opinion.
himself, or is he?
You're asking me the wrong question.
I don't know if anyone knows this.
I would
I would
assume
ass-
so.
Really
I would
cool.
assume for this album at least, since I mean they
Early,
weren't-
very early.
Yeah, this is their breakthrough album.
Yeah.
They don't have
Is
people.
this
to
second or
write-
third album?
It's their third
This
album.
was their first debut with Reprise.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay.
This was
Yeah,
their
this was
first
this was their
commercial-
first real hit album.
If you go and listen to like Kerplunk and what's the first album called?
It's like
Don't know.
39
and
smooth or something like that. 38
They-
smooth.
it
37
sounds like
smooth.
it's recorded in someone's basement or garage.
Which it probably was, right?
Most
Yeah,
likely, yeah.
kind of like this.
This
Yeah.
song's also on Kerplunk. Can we listen
Yes.
to a Kerplunk version of it?
I don't
Oh,
know.
We
listen to
should
the
we should
Kerplunk
we
version.
should not.
Have you heard the
Not
Kerplunk
right now.
version?
No, but we should
I
also
think it's a good. I
not
think there's a
right
good
now.
point to bring it up. So you can
I
see
could,
the
you wanna go to?
progression
Are we going
in
to? We're going to Kerplunk.
You scroll down.
We're audible into Kerplunk.
You're going to the Superior Green Day album. I think it's on Kerplunk, right?
Yeah, it
Should
is.
be at
third.
Where is it?
It's
Third? Is it third?
Yeah. There's really not much of a difference between them, except for quality.
It
Of,
just
like,
sounds
mix
like it's
and-
made recorded on like a
Yeah.
home studio set, not a.
Yeah.
That's recorded on a fucking iPhone right there.
Well, it was 1989.
Well, all right, all right. So
99
fucking like
It was early.
a little MP3, not MP3.
His voice is-
a little CD disc recording little setup
Mhm.
versus an actual studio, a record
Yeah,
studio.
obviously.
Yeah, I think the big thing is also his voice. Like they don't throw, you know, whatever effects they have on his voice.
to make it hard to understand what he's saying.
I guess, right? I
Yeah.
guess that's a great point.
But I prefer it. It's kind of like
The Plunk version?
no, the
The Dookie version.
yeah. I prefer not being able to understand what he's saying on the first listen through.
Makes
I think that's a good thing
Keeps
to
me-
have in music because it
Makes you come back.
like I said yesterday, like the whole point in why people like music is being able to predict patterns.
Mhm.
And when you like get through predicting the patterns and like that's where overplaying comes in. But then when there's lyrics that it's kind of hard to pick up on, that's something that keeps people interested.
So that's where
music.
I did not look this week. Did not look at the lyrics at all.
It's
like,
not it's not that hard to
I
figure
have-
out what the album's about. So I
Exact-
think it's a
ex-
safe
exact-
one. I think
exactly.
it's a safe one to skip the lyrics.
But like if you're listening to a song, unless you're listening to it legitimately closely,
Yeah.
you're not even gonna pick up on a quarter of the lyrics.
No, of this album?
Yeah.
Probably more than a quarter.
It's
There's
Less
a lot
than,
of
you mean
lines
less than a
in-
quarter?
Yeah, yeah, you're right. I
it's hard to figure. Like you
There's a
listen.
lot of lines
Exactly.
that
It's
are
like,
like, what is he I don't know
I
about that. Those the lyrics
That's
that you're
not
humming right there are
accurate.
pretty easy to understand.
I got that.
There's not
was giving an
Yeah.
example.
there's like lines here and there where it's like I have no fucking idea what he's saying here. here.
Gotta give it another listen.
Yeah.
It just brings you back for more.
Yeah.
It's great.
And, like, I
Or
convinced
or
myself
it
some
pushes
lyrics
you
on this album that
or
was
it
completely
pushes
wrong
you
about
off
this
like,
album.
man, I don't understand lyrics. I don't feel like going to look up
I
the
think
lyrics, so
sound
I'm never
of
gonna
this-
listen
I
to the
think-
song
I
again.
think
the
there-
sound of this will keep you.
I've heard this song throughout my entire life. You know, probably since I was 5 years old. I've been listening to the song, and there are still way too many lyrics that I don't even know. And you know what the best? But you know what the best part about it is I get to just make up my own lyrics and just pretend that that's what it is.
That's one of the
And then I
best
hate
parts
because
about songs like that.
I
Doesn't
hate
it hurt when you figure
I
out
hate
the
looking it
lyrics?
up. I know. I look.
nerd.
It's so bad,
But I
dude.
like
It's
it.
so bad. Even
It
when
makes
I
you
don't
think,
know,
man,
even when I
I
don't know the
just
lyrics.
have terrible hearing.
Yeah, well, that too. I do think that, but it's like even when I don't know the lyrics, I like to just say garbage that I feel like sounds right. You know,
Yeah, I mean, that's
have a
something
good
I
time
feel like
singing-
most people
just
do
singing
for a
to
lot
it.
of music, especially when you're younger
Oh yeah.
and like your vocabulary is shit, and you're like,
Are you saying
and
my
you just-
vocabulary is still shit?
No, because there's songs
You're
in
too
this album
right.
that I still don't know the
Fold it
lyrics
twice.
to.
Sure.
I probably have the most listening time to this thing.
And we're back from commercial break.
All right,
Yeah,
we're gonna-
there was a word from our sponsors.
I can tell me
Swiffer.
add in word from sponsors like meme words.
Swiffer, the quicker picker upper.
Oh.
Oh wait, that's Bounty. Haha.
My
Got
name
it.
Funsies.
We're sponsored by Solamid.
We are
Alright.
sponsored by
Pulling teeth. I got nothing to say.
Yeah, I think that's.
subpar.
I mean, this
Quite
was under the realm of like 8 to 13.
I'd like to hear
Could
it
have been
again,
interchangeable.
only
The reason why we don't like the song is because it's like their sing song on this album. Even though it's still punk, it's like
It's not.
there's-
Can I
It
can I
is.
skip ahead a little bit to get to the?
It doesn't
Yeah.
match anything.
it's very sing songy.
It is so sing song.
It's
Like
still,
that's the
I
thing
still
about
think
It
it's a
is.
very good song.
it's still a great song. It's not way
Like
up there.
like
for me.
like any of my lists, it's like a mid tier. Any of them could have been worse, could have been better.
Like
When I was a child,
Like,
I
that's
thought
fair.
better
mine
ranked,
was,
like-
I bet $1 that I love her, and then I was like,
Like I'm
It's better
lukewarm.
tell her that I
I'm
love
lukewarm
her.
on all of them basically. I'm
I'm like,
lukewarm
why is
on
he
all of
betting
them.
$1? Like that's not a very big wager.
That's
It's a
fair.
very big wager.
And it shouldn't
All right,
know.
let's
If
just
you
skip
love it,
to
shouldn't you
skip
already
to the
know?
next
Basket
basket case.
There it is.
Yeah.
Number one.
Yes.
This was the
Yes.
hardest decision was deciding between
Do
Basket Case
listen
and
to me.
Longview. This was my favorite song as a kid.
Oh, by
For
far.
years
Doubt
and
about
years
it.
and years.
So we all clearly really like this
I am
one.
one of those
It's also the song. Is this the song that
melodramatic
he came out as
fools.
by him?
neurotic
I
and
don't think he did it prior
doubt
to
about it.
in his discography.
So
Time
clearly
to
it's a
give
very
myself
popular-
the
sorry.
creeps.
Everybody
Sorry.
knows this.
clearly
song.
it's a very popular Green Day song.
Everybody
Everyone
knows this
it.
song.
You
Everybody
up
loves
for-
this song.
I think it's the best on the album, personally. I think it's.
I mean, clearly.
Yeah,
Hey,
you
hey,
both.
hey,
The
sing.
difference between
Not
this
bad,
one
not
and
bad.
Longview is a toss-up. The reason I pick Longview is because Basket Case still has that sound that's shared between like the other
Yeah.
half of.
Half
There's
of the
like
album.
half of this album that doesn't sound like the other half of this album, and there's 6 that don't sound like anything else, and then there's like, I'm bad at math,
No.
9 that sound exactly the same, and not exactly the same.
But it's
obviously,
very
They
similar.
have a very similar sound.
And this one
I
is
agree.
the best of the 9.
Sure.
That sounds the same.
Sure.
And Longview's the best of the ones that sound different.
Sound different.
And I'm a big fan of
Jerking off.
jerking off and experimental music.
Experimental jerking off.
Experimental jerking off is something I stay away from as I'm prone to injury.
Whoa. We'll cover that off air.
Yeah, cut that
Uh,
out.
other than anime.
Whoa. We're gonna bleep that out too.
Oh yeah, we gotta remove that. That's my pride right there.
Gotta bleep this. All bleeps.
There might be girls watching. this at
Anime
some
porn.
point.
Like,
Anyway, back to the album.
What the fuck am I looking at right now?
Yeah, you're looking
Yeah.
at you're looking at a quite
Yeah.
subpar song. I shouldn't say
This was
subpar, but it's pretty.
tough.
Are you sure about that?
all right, so this
Very
one,
average.
this one was tough in my book.
A song that doesn't sound like the rest of the album, but also fucking slaps.
It doesn't sound like the rest of the album. You're 100% right.
I
However,
can't
I
say
feel like
it slaps.
I feel like
It
the
does
songs
slap.
the songs on this album that sound like this, I don't think they quite
What sounds
found
like
their
this?
sound. What do you mean, like kind of? I don't want to say slower.
The only other song that sounds like this is
When I
Like
think of vintage
Yeah, which
Green
is
Day,
also-
I don't
and
think
also
of
great
like
song.
soul searching
I really
sound
like
and,
the,
and lyrics.
the slow beginning singing version just going into a fucking banger of a chorus.
I don't
Which
think
this is.
when I think of Green Day, I don't think of soul searching lyrics. I think
Yes,
of
we do.
just-
soul searching lyrics. Isn't this song about being like abused domestically?
I don't know. All right. Soul searching sound. How about that?
No, he's yelling. He
Well,
screams
not in the
this
beginning.
song.
Not
Yeah,
the
it's
beginning.
like a
He's like,
misleading opening. Like this is the beginning of a relationship. It's slow and it's nice and it's all
And then it
sing
ramps
songy,
up.
and then now
but
he's
the
screaming,
slow and nice
then,
is not
and then
the
you get a guitar
not the Green
solo
Day
and drum
feel.
solo and you get Billy
The
Joe.
slow and nice-
literally the only time he
the
screams.
slow
on
and
the album.
nice is not the Green Day feel.
Yes, it is.
Green
I
Day
agree.
feel is punk rock, fuck everything.
Well, I don't think
Song is
that.
extremely punk rock.
I don't think it's
Play the chorus.
half.
All right, that's
We're getting
like
copyright.
half of the
Fuck
song.
copyright claim. Huh? It's literally how long's the song? 2 minutes and
2:14.
14
Exactly,
songs?
it's 1
and
minute.
it's a
of the
13
song.
seconds of singing in the beginning before he goes right into the chorus.
So
I think you
strongly
misunderstood
disagree.
this
I'm
album.
still
This
gonna
song.
strongly
Where you
disagree.
You had
Oh, that's rich.
I'm getting drunk again.
Nice, of course.
another beverage.
Drinking?
I don't-
What is this? I'm drinking.
Obviously,
I-
we're
I
supposed
thought
to
this song was
disagree.
average.
I
I
mean-
said subpar
I mean-
because there are a lot worse songs than this. This song is very average for me.
I didn't know where to really put it. I didn't love it. I put it low, but I
it's
didn't
not like
like.
I put
I
it
don't
last.
hate it.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah,
fine.
It's like you
It's
can
not my
hum
least
along with
favorite.
it. It's got a great sound that you kind of know what to predict and what to expect, kind of for. I feel
But
like
I
the
can't. I
most
can't
part of
say
it.
that it.
Once
It,
you've heard it once.
it does not reflect the. In my opinion, it does not reflect the feel of the album.
Which is
I don't know if I
I don't-
agree with
I don't
that
think that's
necessarily. I don't know if I agree with that necessarily. I think this one definitely. I think I agree with
I
Tyler.
don't think
with
there's a
the fact
song
it's
in
got
here that
punk
doesn't
sound,
fit
but
into the theme of the album. Pulling teeth is the closest
All
one.
by
that doesn't.
the last one. All by myself or.
Don't
All by
you dare
myself
show
absolutely
myself.
fits into the theme.
Ah.
it fits. It has
The,
to.
It's
the
about
title
jerking off
does.
again.
The title
Huh?
does.
You sing
It's not
about
jerking-
being lonely and jerking off, which
By
is like a
myself.
very strong theme in this album.
All right, so I might be thinking
Tina
of
James.
not lyrical theme, musical theme.
Musical theme isn't the important part of.
Well,
the
it
theme
is
of
to
an
me,
album.
so fuck you.
all right.
Okay.
What do we got
Moving right along. I'll be
You
a-
put 2 as 3.
Michael, you fucked up. This
Your
is like,
last
this
one
is like
was
Biz
also
or
3.
She was my third one.
Michael?
Rasmus was not. Michael put it wrong.
You fucked up his numbers.
What?
You put this is not my third one.
That's the second one in
She
a row
is my
that
third one.
Tyler was.
What's this one?
Number
Biz maybe?
Number 3.
Oh yeah,
4.
4. My bad. We'll fix it in post.
Wasting your time.
We fix everything in post.
Not impressed with this one.
I'm not.
I,
really
I don't
impressed
know
with this
why. I just like I wasn't. It was
I'm not-
it was
I'm not-
it was a little basic.
No, I mean, well,
Like-
all
like-
the songs in this album are incredibly basic. If you
Yes,
listen, if
but
you listen to any,
sometimes they have like complex lyrics or complex sound. This one is just like really
no,
straightforward.
I mean, I think it
and
follows. I think it follows the structure.
It does. I
mean,
agree.
If you listen to all this album, all of their, their melodic guitar is all power chords the whole time. Every time, it's all
God
power
bless
chords.
them.
You can, and they're fantastic.
It's so
I love it.
so
Everything
easy.
But it's like-
instrumental about this album is fantastic.
But the thing is like what part of what made this album
True.
so
True. Very true.
part of what made this album so strong is how accessible it was. Of course, I wasn't there. I was-
Extremely easy to listen to.
It's incredibly easy to listen to.
Not
it's
hard to
incredibly
understand.
it's incredibly easy to understand.
The
And it's
songs-
incredibly easy to learn for like people who are picking up the song when you were, of course not.
This
us,
is like
but-
peak garage band time in the United States, where
Yeah.
everybody
Yes,
wants to
exactly,
be in a band.
Exactly.
And these guys come out with fucking banger after banger after banger.
And what's
on this
that are
album,
easy
and
to
you can
play.
learn them
incredibly
like this.
easy to play. That's what made them. You made you feel like a rock star. You're like, how the hell if these guys can do this, fucking I totally. can.
Anyone can
And
do
also,
this.
when you're in the car, the
Yeah.
drums are so good, and you're just sitting there.
Well,
I'm
honestly-
supposed to fucking be using my hands for other things, but I'm just sitting there.
Steal my
Meanwhile, I'm
knees.
redlining. I'm just like,
Well,
I haven't
burn my
shifted
core.
gears.
I think the drums and the bass.
They're the
really,
highlights in my.
They really
Yeah.
carry this
Yes.
whole album.
They,
Yeah.
I mean,
and,
they
and
do.
especially the drums. I feel like
They do. They absolutely do.
Yeah, because Green Day drums are so iconic, and one of my favorite instances of it in this album is during Longview, actually, when the drums are used to almost roll the bass.
He is right. Dude, oh, what a good song.
And we're back.
He rolls the bass.
Yeah, he does.
Especially as he's moving, as he's transitioning from being low and he goes back up high. Doom, doom,
God, dude.
doom, doom,
How do you guys
doom.
not have long view?
It's all rolled.
I
It's
don't
all rolled.
understand.
Can I
It's
change my
fantastic.
Instrumentally fantastic. Sonically, for the singing of the entire song, fantastic. It jumps from places to places that aren't visited on this album.
I just know
the
my
chorus might be the catchiest one on the entire album.
my
Tell
9-year-old
me I'm
self
wrong.
wouldn't forgive me if I put it as my number one. There's no chance.
Did your number one was
Basket Case?
Basket
Of
Case?
course.
Yeah,
Because
was,
that's a
Basket
banger
Case I
for all
definitely liked
ages.
better than Longview. when I was a
Basket
kid.
Case is a banger for all ages.
I think everyone likes Basket Case more as a kid.
Yeah.
It's a better catchy
because
song.
you don't want to hear sounds that you're not used to.
Yeah.
Or also your parents
Now that I'm
still
just
want
here
you
for
to
the
hear,
bass line.
I'm jerking off.
Give me a bass line all day.
Well, my parents didn't shield me from like topics of music at all because you're a kid. You're not gonna listen to a song and be like, "Oh, this
jerking
is about
off."
playing with your penis."
Okay, well,
you know what I mean?
my mom did.
What was
Really?
what was your first album?
I mean, I wasn't allowed to listen to explicit.
I don't
music
listen
for
to
the most
albums.
part.
What was the first piece of music you ever owned?
I did free downloads. From
You never
YouTube.
owned like a CD or anything?
You never had a CD or an MP3 player? or
Personally,
any of those?
never owned a CD. I had a hand-me-down iPod that my favorite 3 songs were "Welcome to the Jungle," "Piano Man," and some other third song that's obviously not important.
So, a worse song. What was yours?
My first song?
Your first owned piece of music?
Superman by Eminem. And I'm damn proud of that one.
Did that come out in 2010?
Dark Knight
No,
soundtrack.
Superman's old.
No, I'm
Oh,
thinking
Dark Knight
Cinderella
soundtrack.
Man.
You think Cinderella Man?
What
Now
was
that's
that?
also a
We
banger.
talked about this yesterday. What was
It
yours?
was an
I don't know if
iPod
we talked about
shuffle.
it. No, my
I
first.
talked about mine.
You
As
had
we are still talking about mine.
See, I didn't buy music. I downloaded by an iPod that I just downloaded YouTube songs to back to back and just had like
This-
shitty Eminem and shitty pop. I had Rihanna. I loved Rihanna as a kid.
As did I.
What's wrong with Rihanna?
My first
I grew out of
music-
Rihanna.
My first music was like this Insomniac by Green Day. It's in some
Love
Red
the
Hot
Way
Chili
You Lie
Peppers.
is just something special.
see the my
Kids
dad.
Bop.
My,
Big Kids Bop,
Oh
yeah.
my god.
no, my dad bought me the 3 Days Grace's debut album.
Really?
Right, that was the first piece of music I ever owned was 3 Days Grace by 3 Days Grace. That whole
Mhm.
album, and I know that fucking thing front to back. Like I listen to that shit on repeat, 5-hour drives from
Biz.
Maryland to New
You're
York.
on the Social Biz podcast.
Take a drink, sir.
Take a drink.
Should we move on to the next song?
Yeah.
We
Sure.
always discuss music off air. When I come around.
Another
Fantastic.
overplayed in my
Tyler,
head.
holy
Dude,
top
let me,
mushroom.
Okay,
let
slow
me
down.
make something
No,
extremely
I
clear
gotta hit
before you guys
no,
get mad about this.
No, it's fine because I want to hit
I'm
you.
gonna
with
get
something
mad regardless.
Actually pause this real quick. You at the very beginning of this podcast, you mentioned is this song a bad track or is it a bad opening? And I gotta say, is this a bad track or are you just sick of it?
This isn't a bad track. There's not a bad track on the album. This song could be 4th on my list.
Well, why
my
is it
issue.
13?
Because they're all the same level to me in my head.
Well, you can't do that. You
Yes,
have to
I
find
can.
it. Well, that's not accurate.
It's
So,
almost
if I was
as
gonna-
if
if I was gonna
I've been
hack-
saying
if I
it
was
the
gonna
whole time.
hack
They're
the
all
la-
the same
So you
song.
want me to bring out my
Well,
issues with
there's
this song?
differences.
No, my point is, if I was gonna
Hold on,
hack,
hold
if I
that
was gonna
thought.
hack the last half, if I was gonna take the last half of the song and just hack it off the album, they're gone, right? To your rating here, When I Come Around will be fucking gone. You'd be gone. It would never exist. If we had to re-release Dookie, we had to cut out half the songs. When I Come Around would never exist,
Okay.
and you're okay with that.
No.
Well, it sounds like you're.
But
kind
if
of-
I say I took fucking When I Come Around, I threw it up to 3rd and I put She down there, I wouldn't be okay with that either. You see the issue that I'm having with
I
writing
see
these
the issue
songs?
there, but I feel like there has to be songs.
And in my head, I can put When I Come Around up into 3rd, and I can put She to 13th. It's,
Yeah, but-
it's an issue of
no, that's not my point. My
I
point-
look at this as a sole, grouping of music more than I listen to it as an album with like, hey, this is one song, hey, this is one song. Hey. I don't think I have a single playlist on any phone or iPod that I've ever had that just has one song from Dookie on it. I have the album on all of them, and I would listen to this album from front to back, and that's about the only way I'd ever listen to it.
Right. But my point is there are still songs on this album that are objectively worse than others. I think. There are
I have a
songs.
hard time looking at it like that.
I understand you probably have a hard time looking at it like that. But I feel like
This
feel
one
like
is another one that is extremely poppy, which is something that gets stale in my head.
So we're dealing
I
with the difference
disagree.
between objective good and subjective
Tell
good.
me-
Is it
when I correct
you're
is
saying
it
there's
a poppy
objective
song?
good?
I don't think this song is as poppy as you're trying to make it out to be.
It's,
It most definitely is. This is the best part of the song.
I don't
I'm
think-
not a big fan of the chorus.
You don't like the chorus.
I
See,
like
I really
the chorus.
like
Let's
the
play-
chorus.
let's play the chorus. Let's
The
play the
chorus
chorus.
is what is kind of not stale, but it's kind of boring in my head. And I hate to say that now because I'm gonna listen to it and I obviously fucking think it's amazing because I think the whole album's amazing. But I mean, it's just kind of like.
all right, so I'll agree with you.
Okay,
There's
yeah,
not much.
it's a-
There's
it's a
not
genre.
much of a
Okay.
chorus. There's
Okay.
not much of a chorus.
I can see what you mean by the fact that it's a stale song. It's very samey throughout most of it. I can see why you say maybe that makes it kind of poppy in your opinion.
So what annoys me is you just said this could be my number 3 or my number 14.
It's just true. I don't
That's
know
what
how to
I've
look at
been
it a
saying
different way.
the whole time
But they
about
don't
the fact
sound
that
the
they're
same.
all the same.
Not the
No,
same,
you're
though.
arguing difference.
These are very two different.
He's saying he
issues.
likes all of them almost equally. You're saying they're all the exact same song. Those are not the same
I
argument.
can look at every single song in this album and tell you what's different about them, what's just like sonically different, what's thematically different about them. But in my head,
I
they're
could
the
too.
same
I
body
could.
of work.
I could
Did you
too.
know most of these songs start
Yes,
on like
they-
the exact same chord?
Yes.
It's very
Yes,
obvious.
exactly. So they're not
But-
sonically. They're not
Yes,
sonically
they
different.
are.
Well,
They're
still
phonetically
sonically
different. They
They're
they have a different beat. Whoop-de-doo.
That's a pretty big difference.
That is a
Very
difference.
large
That's a very
difference.
large difference.
No, it's not. If
And
they have
here
the
we
same
have
fucking
the person
chords,
who
they're
hasn't
the same
taken a
fucking.
music theory.
If they have the same
Chorus.
fucking chords, how creative are they being?
They're
Exactly. They're not
Every-
being.
you can
They're
grab-
not being
I
creative.
can grab an
That's,
Ariana
yeah, well, that's
Grande
not
song.
a great way to put it because
and I
some of
can-
the biggest songs on the planet are the same
CGAF, baby. It's in every
I
pop
think
song.
CGAF, yeah, they're like
Have you listened? Have you
Top of the
seen whatever the Axis of Awesome where they play every goddamn song we know
Yes.
in CGAF?
Yes.
That's the
Yes.
argument you're making. They're not all. They're not. A lot of those songs suck. A lot of those are good. Just because it has the
I'm
same
not-
like similar progression.
I'm not talking about the rest of the
and
songs
even
in the
across
fucking
and even
work.
But we're
across
looking at this
genres,
album.
even across
Exactly, that's what
genres,
I'm
they
doing.
use the same set of chords, right?
Like, how are you gonna take a progressive like rock song like 21st Century Schizo made and make Power, and then they have the same chord in them? They're two completely different. Well, obviously because Kanye West is a genius.
So
But-
so
I brought that up to
unrelated.
make you angry. I'm sorry.
So
But
unrelated.
it's not unrelated to the same fact.
Kanye sucks.
Saying that they
I'm gonna
have the
trademark
same chords,
that.
so they're the same song is like absurd. It's just ridiculous.
You know what's ridiculous is the fact that you put this at 13 and not
Well,
any low,
you have
any
to-
I
But-
explained
higher.
myself.
In his
Um,
explanation, it makes sense.
And
No,
listen to the song.
wrong.
Like it.
Like this
it's-
is all subjective
I understand. No, I
ranking.
know exactly what you're coming from.
That's
you're saying
wrong.
it doesn't
That's
have.
Just because
That's
it's very
fake
popular
news.
doesn't mean I'm trying to be like
No, I know.
hip and be like, hey,
No, I got
We're
you.
ranking-
No,
because it's.
I'm not saying that. I'm not
That's
saying
you know
that.
what I
that's
mean?
very wrong.
Like-
That's fake news.
But it is. But it's like it's.
I think
it's,
we should just ignore that.
Clearly, this is all subjective ranking, so we're not like
Yes,
music
yeah.
geniuses. And he has a point that it like in his mind they're all subjectively very similar, very good that you could swap to.
And I look at the thing as a whole more than I look at these as songs, which made it hard for me
Yes.
to rate.
I
in the
feel
first
like-
place.
I feel
And
like
when you
your
look
history
at all
with
of
the
these
album-
songs, this one is probably one of the blandest songs.
The other,
All right,
The only
I'll-
one beating
I'll give
it
you
being
that.
Pulling Teeth, which is the one that I have below it.
what we should do.
there should be 2 below it.
The last one.
This would be-
we all know the last
myself.
one. It's a meme song. I don't.
This would be interesting if we all took an album that we hadn't heard before, like brand new album just dropped, decent that we don't know, because obviously we're all like have like nostalgic biases, we have preference biases. If we took an album that like just came out, like let's say the next Kanye album, that's kind of biased because Kanye. Let's take the next like
well,
the next
Not that biased because I'm.
like
here
mediocre,
and
and then
tell
we
you
all
that
listen
it's
to
last
it.
album
The
was
next
mediocre.
fucking Chris Stapleton album. I have not listened to a single Chris Stapleton album.
Who's Chris?
I haven't heard a single Chris Stapleton song.
I don't know what that
Tennessee
is.
Whiskey, yes you have.
I hate that song.
I could not give you a lyric besides Tennessee Whiskey, probably.
Regardless, we're
Is
using
that in
it
the-
as an example.
Okay.
It's an example of like a couple songs I've listened to.
Yes.
I can't say I've listened to the whole
So
album.
as we're saying this, we should listen to
Okay.
Which means-
debut.
You should stop talking. I'm trying to explain something. Which means we should choose albums that we haven't necessarily listened through completely, but we've heard like one or two songs.
I can't
from
choose an album like that then.
Yeah, I listen to albums. I don't listen to songs.
You can do that because you don't listen to albums. I don't listen to like.
No, but I'm not. No, I know what you're saying.
No, but-
I'm one who also doesn't listen to albums front to back. I really don't like doing that.
I don't like doing it because there's always the bad couple songs that you're like,
They're important.
why the hell are they in this album? Or
We're
why the
gonna
hell should
move
I
on.
care about these songs?
To Coming Clean, which sucks. We're past Coming Clean.
We
It
can.
doesn't suck.
All right, we're gonna move
It
past
doesn't
it.
No, we're
suck.
talking about it.
We can hear.
We're
it.
moving
We can hear it, we
past
can hear it,
it.
we can hear it.
Listen to it.
We'll listen
This
to
could be
it.
I
but
think it's a good song.
This could be a 2-hour podcast.
I'm okay with
It
that.
was
down.
it was pretty fucking clear by the ratings that
It's like
nobody
fine.
liked it.
I like it. I just don't love it.
12
Yeah,
out of
it's a-
15.
It's a good song. Objectively, it is a good song, in my opinion.
I think it's
Objectively,
it's
comparative. All right, comparatively,
If you were to take this song out of the album and compare it to any other song, would you say this is a good song or not?
it's a decent song. Yes,
Like
I
in
would.
history of
You don't
songs.
think this is a good song?
If I were to,
I think
Like, you
compared
think this is a bad
if
song?
I were to compare it to any
Yeah, I think this is a
XXX
bad song.
Tentacion
We're not
song,
no any song.
I would
That
I
I'm
would
surprised by.
say this is probably one of the best songs in the world,
Like, sure, but
comparatively
no.
to XXX
No,
Tentacion.
He's being very biased against last week. We
Just
just
very upset they had to listen to
I
Question
think-
Mark.
Just
That
wait
was
till he
the
hits.
worst fucking album I've ever heard.
You just chose my next album for me.
Welcome to the club. Michael, leave it. Let's be tame.
I can't remember exactly
you-
what
can
I
you not
rated
be a
number
dickhead?
13, but I think.
Oh
this
wait,
should've been
no, that's
lower
in
than
your
that.
fucking jeans.
Hey, I would have put that album twice, but
Sorry,
I have to
in
choose
your
two.
fucking banana
Spoiler
shorts.
alert. I think
Ah,
it's
dad joke.
You're gonna kill yourself
And
if
if
this
it's
album's
not
chosen.
below.
I will not
It might be 15.
participate.
FOD might be 15 for me. We're gonna
All
find
right.
out.
Shall we
One,
continue?
two,
We can continue.
three,
I'm gonna sleep this.
Another
Good song.
I'm
another
missing
awful
Good song. Oh no.
I shouldn't say awful. This song is just
Is
not
that
that
it?
good.
It's under.
It's
No,
under-
is that it? Is that a thing?
I think this is better than Coming Clean.
That's not a thing.
By a lot.
We'll figure out.
I think coming.
You
Let's
just
continue
listen to
this.
Coming Clean.
I
Play
think-
I'm Gonna Sleep With.
We're gonna sleep this.
Oh, it's on that. It's on that. We're good.
Two
I
chords.
saw my friend
The
the other
other
day.
day.
It's another. It's the.
All right, I was not
You
a
know,
fan
I was
of this
wrong.
song.
You're right. This is the only. This is another song. There's two songs in this album that have an actual story to it. This one also has one about the progression of a friendship from having been like that one-time friend that you've met a couple times. and you see him
Interesting
again,
how you
you're
chose
like,
this
I don't know.
pretty
who this
I like
guy
this
is.
one a lot. This is
You
bias going
are-
into this.
You are looking into these songs.
Hold on, wait.
on
Which
a-
one at a time?
You are looking at these songs. First of all, I feel like you've been swapping back and forth between paying attention to the lyrics and really trying to hone in on making the lyrics carry the song over the actual sound of
Well,
the
the
song.
sound of the song's great.
I think the sound of this song is a
This
little
song's
bit.
not great.
I think this
in
song.
terms
I
of
think
the
this song
sound.
is actually kind of lazy, if you ask me, and I can prove it. If you
Yeah,
go
how
back
is
and
it any
listen,
lazier
It's
than When I
it's
Come
two
Around?
chords, 2 or 3 chords.
this song is actually two chords for and they changed where the key is, but it's pretty much the same. two chords.
And I like the content. I'm okay with the guitar being kind of bland.
The guitar's kind of bland. The content's fine, but it's like that's the thing is the guitar in this one is extra bland.
I don't.
Most of the guitar in this entire album is
pretty
is
good.
pretty.
Well, the guitar
well,
is
well,
really.
it's pretty bland in the sense that it's very simple. This song is overly simple to the point where it feels lazy.
like
The lyrics itself are not lazy. You have a story, that's fine. It's fantastic.
they sacrifice
bizarre.
they sacrifice the sound for the lyrics. In
No,
terms
it's
of
not
quality.
Even, I would say
In
the
terms of quality.
Sound is
No,
sacrificed,
I wouldn't
though.
say that. I would just say this song.
In terms of
This
depth,
song,
how about?
this song could have been so much better than it is. I should say, if they put a little bit more into
Effort?
No, I don't want to say effort.
It's not effort. I don't know what the word is.
It's just the flow of this song is not what you expect. We're talking about predictability.
Mm-hmm.
When you hear the song for the first
I think it's
time,
unpredictable.
I think the song is too unpredictable.
This is where it's hard for me to give you an actual opinion because the first time I listened to this song, I can't remember.
This is the vibe.
This is my father's favorite album of all time, as far as I'm aware.
It's a good choice.
It was a good choice.
He would just play this album, and then he would play Insomniac, and that was all we'd listen to in this car for the most part if we weren't listening to the radio. Banger.
Banger.
Banger. We've moved on to In the End, by the way.
Yes.
God.
Wait, what did Dan put this at?
I put this pretty. Holy, I put this a lot higher. Oh, you know why I put this higher? Is because I really like the
It
chorus.
doesn't get better from
This is
here.
another.
by the
This is
way.
another. This is another song that
I can tell you, it doesn't
don't-
get better from here.
This is another
Well, it
song
shouldn't.
that I don't
But it's a good
normally.
song.
This is another song that I don't normally listen to, and that hearing it in this
Fog.
album changed that for me for sure. Hearing it in the album, I think changed it for me. Right, especially after a couple times I listened to it through. First time through, this song might have been number 13, number 14. Like really not so great. I don't know what it is about it because it's
the
the
pace.
It's the pace. I think it must be the pace. But it's a great
so
vibe.
rushed.
It's a great vibe once you've kind of gotten to figure it out. I know I'm kind of contradicting myself with the last song, which was too unpredictable the first time you listen to it through. This song I feel like is predictable while you're listening to it. You kind of know what you're
I
getting
don't think
into
this is predictable.
until you get to the chorus.
And the
But
chorus
once
is the
you
part
get-
where it's
I'm
unpredictable.
so-
But here's the
this
thing. No,
album
that's
already.
the unpredictable part.
Because it's
I'm done.
It's literally
done.
like
You're right.
this,
But
and then the
here's-
chorus hits and
but
it
here's-
stops at one point.
Exactly,
and
but
then it's slow.
here's-
This is
but
what it
here's
should
the
be,
thing.
to be honest.
I know.
Stop. Hold
The
on,
thing
I'm
about
done.
this chorus in this song, the part that's fantastic about it,
Just wanna
is
go
the
to
fact.
AJ's
I'm sorry.
right now.
The thing about the chorus of the
stay
song
two
is
more
that it is
songs.
so good. It
Yeah.
is fantastic, and that's what brings you through it. It's like,
I
oh,
figured it out. And when he hits so, and then like it's slow, he slows it down for like a second. That's
Right here.
so good because the
It's-
pace of the whole song is so fucking rushed.
yeah.
That part
And
right
then
there. Just,
I
it's
did
different.
like
You're
the
100% right.
pause.
And
I did
that's-
I did
that's
like
what
the
changes it.
dun-dun-dun, and
Yeah,
then they
'cause
and then they kick it back in again.
It's just
It's
so
a good
fucking
musical
fast
musical
paced
musical
song.
little
it's just
pause.
it's a good way to use that space.
It's a good musical
It's
pause.
a good way to use this space. Anyways, want to continue?
And then
Good
he
song.
sings.
Oh, look at that! The worst song on the album.
Not
Thank
true.
you so much.
Second worst.
I don't understand how you guys don't like the song.
It's not like you put it very high.
You know
No,
why?
I
you
didn't,
know
but
why
I like- I like
know
all the songs.
I
He
know
also put-
exactly. I know exactly why I don't like this song.
The beginning.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really?
I'm
For-
gonna
and
agree
listen,
with
listen,
that.
This song, for how much of it is just this?
Well, this is like
So much of it.
This is the end of the album, and
No,
then
I know.
and then they tacked on all by myself.
But it's like,
Because
I would
they
never-
were like,
there
this
is-
funny.
What do you mean, tacked on?
All right.
I
so,
mean tacked on.
You
All right,
would never
so
catch me
in
waking
my-
up in the middle of the night and saying, I gotta put on FOD, just to hear it.
I don't
All right,
think
all
I'm
right,
in the middle of the night
so-
and put on a song just to hear it. Except
right.
maybe Ghost Town by Kanye.
So in my opinion, an album, if it starts soft, it should end soft.
But you didn't even know it was still
This didn't
playing.
start-
Not
I
soft.
forgot.
Exactly.
This doesn't end soft either.
The confidence gonna
It
sneak up.
doesn't
on
end soft. This
Listen to the end of the song.
it
Have you made it to the end of the song before?
Yes.
The album doesn't
This
end
is
soft.
not the end of the album.
However, there is not
All
a
by myself is not the end
Slow
of
down,
the
slow down.
album.
There is not a single there's
Yes,
not a,
it is.
There's not a single like
Memorable.
part of this song for me.
The
Like,
chorus for me.
next to zero memorable pieces
See,
of this song.
I've listened
Even
to
the
this.
chorus.
I've listened to this album a number of times. This song just, I like don't register that it's part. Like I know most. I probably know like 13 other songs like that are on the album. I could tell you, oh, that's on Dookie.
Mhm.
If you gave me FOD, I'd probably be like, it's like it's just like it's there. It's fine. It's not a bad. It's not horrible. It's just like it exists.
No, yeah, and as you can see, I put it at 10.
It gets you through. It gets you to.
I like it better than when I
It gets you to
come
all by
I
myself.
don't know if that's even true.
Which-
Honestly, I don't know. There's a lot of songs in here that are mixed up in my head. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Which fucking blows.
Honestly, I think I put All By Myself too low. I think 14 is too harsh for this song.
What do you mean?
And here's why. Because this... Oh.
It's funny, but
Why is yours bolded?
That's
I
a
don't know
fucking
why that's
one my
folded,
part.
actually.
Why is yours butts?
Boo.
Because I love this song.
The thing about this
Oh
song is...
my
It's
God.
funny. No, it's funny.
And I don't
It's so
blame you,
funny.
because it's not even the fact that it's funny, it's that once you've heard it enough times,
Tyler,
it becomes
we
a vibe.
finally
Yeah.
agree on a
A
song.
vibe that you kind of can enjoy. You can put the song on and be like,
It's a meme
it's all
song.
by myself.
They
You can
threw
sing
it on
along
at
with
the
it
end.
the whole time.
They don't even intend for this to be
It's
part
not
of the
even
album. is the thing.
connected.
You can
Oh,
tell by how it's
Oh, I get that
thrown at the
100%.
end. It's
So,
not intended to be.
After my third listen to, I played this song 4 times in a row,
Yeah.
back to back.
I
So
don't
like, oh,
blame
Green Morph all by myself. I loved this.
And I'm gonna
song.
make this clear. This is the only song that I didn't know that was on the album until like probably I was like 16.
Oh,
Because I don't know if this is on the CD release.
I
I'm
have no
just
idea.
I
gonna.
don't think it
I'm
is.
just gonna stay silent.
But I
about
could be
this
completely
song.
wrong.
Hey,
Like,
it
don't get me
has
wrong.
almost 8 million plays on Spotify. It's a good song.
It's because it's on Dookie.
now, the thing is, this song could actually be objectively bad, and I know exactly why. Just because a lot of the elements in the song don't actually work very well together.
With
each other.
Green Day itself.
Oh, well, that too. It's
This is
definitely
like the
not-
spirit of Green Day at the time that it came out was to have.
This
It's
is like
fun,
freaking
punk, like
this is-
edgy teenager.
This is like
Let's
Passenger
have fun while
right
we make
here.
music.
This sounds like Passenger.
is-
Yeah, but it's like if you listen to it, his voice
Can't
like
see it.
almost doesn't sound like it should fit with this guitar. But after you've heard it a couple times,
sound-
Because
you've
it
almost
sounds like a
trained
punk rock
yourself
voice.
Because it's
to
fun.
like
It's a-
meant
It's
to
a
be.
it's a
punk rock
funny
voice.
song.
I'm not even gonna pretend with you though.
It's a punk rock voice with a classical
You know
guitar.
what?
I don't know exactly what it is he's saying through most of the song. All I know is that every time he says
Jerking
All by
off.
myself.
nobody's looking.
He's jacking off.
Oh, okay.
That's
Well,
going
then,
on.
yeah. I mean, sure.
Yeah.
No, I can get with
I know
Nobody's looking.
Yeah, I know. Like, it's fun.
It's a good song.
Like,
We could have it. You
being
could put-
able to do that all by myself. You can't do that with FOD in the slightest. Oh, there's no like part where you can go. Nobody's looking.
It's so good.
Nobody's looking.
Please
You can't do that for any other song.
Yeah.
You can sneak this song to any playlist and it'll just be played. It'll be one. It's so
Nobody's
unharmful.
gonna like it, but everybody's gonna be like,
It's
all right,
not-
fine, it's here.
Like, oh shit, all by myself joined the party.
You know what?
Alright.
This is number one.
You know what?
Change
Send
my
it
mind.
up.
You guys have got me.
All right, let's wrap this up.
All right.
Let's,
Well,
we gotta
we're not
rank
picking
it.
out-
We gotta
we're not
rank it.
ranking Out of Biz.
I have
Please, Michael.
I'll start. I'll give it a
No.
3.
no. Tyler starts because it's his album.
Okay.
Biz out of biz.
Okay.
Dan?
Michael, go. Michael,
Look,
go.
let's go around clockwise or
All
something.
right. I'm gonna give
It's a biz out of biz.
2-point biz out of biz.
Wow.
I'll give it like a 3.9.
That is the most disgusting thing I've ever heard since you gave question mark by XXX.
I mean, if Changes had this, I'd be a biz out of biz. But
You literally said the only song on that album that you take over any of these songs is Changes, which means that this song has 14 songs.
No, that's
that are
not
better than
true.
any song on
Because
that
I would take
album.
like a lot over of this, All on Myself, FOD, In the End, Coming Clean. There's a lot of songs that I definitely like. The fact that I don't know like.
If those bottom 4 songs didn't exist, or those bottom biz songs didn't exist, I don't think I'd mind. Like from When I Come Around to Up.
I think In the End's a good song.
Do I think In the End is a good song? In the End is actually, yeah, it is a good song. It's actually a really, really good song. However, if it was gone,
I think
I would really miss it.
the album.
Mhm.
My point is that, and I'm not saying that would be my favorite fucking album. Is if you got rid of the last 5 songs, I would actually get rid of a couple different.
And I
songs
also
in there.
don't think-
such as She. I think She should. Jesus, I could probably.
I
cut
think
out.
she should just
I think-
be
I
removed
think
from
Baby
all
Teeth,
sound,
the Baby
all
Teeth
sound
is-
ever.
My Biz Out of Biz is entirely and by itself a nostalgic. Biz Out of Biz, obviously.
Okay.
Obviously.
I'm gonna give it a 4-1. 4-1. I mean, I'm really close
This
to
is
just
a-
giving it a 4 flat. I think that there's enough hiccups in this song that are in this album that it's not.
This is
perfect.
certified classic.
It's a certified
without,
classic.
without a
There's
doubt.
genre-
Genre-defining
issue about that.
album.
Without a doubt.
Absolutely. Yep.
I'm gonna revise mine to a 3.0 because I did enjoy it.
You put
I
that.
was
Your
just-
your rating for question mark was 2.4,
No,
and you
it
gave
was
this a 2.3.
2.3. That's
You
why
think
I'm.
that question
That's
mark
why
is that
I'm.
close
That's
to
why
this?
I'm raising it. That's why I'm raising it because I spoke not near my heart. I spoke near my emotions right there, where I was a little annoyed at you at the last couple songs, where you're like, "This is a banger," and it's one of the worst songs.
All
on the
by
album.
I
myself.
think the whole song.
All right, okay, let's
Um,
pick the thing. We can talk about this later. We can continue off
All
there.
right.
We're in an hour.
Okay,
It's
cool.
me.
You can pick. And if it's my second song, we're gonna throw it out and choose another one.
I can't fucking wait.
Why you already don't want to do
I already did. Was it a
I can't
moment of
fucking
spite?
wait.
Is it what I think it is? Oh, word. Okay, cool. No,
I got chosen
Wait.
2 weeks in a row.
the wife of Pablo.
Oh, that's.
Should we see what else is in here?
Here, I can get
There we go,
second
then.
pick, and we can be like, hey, do we want to do this or do we want to do this?
I'm voting for Life of Pablo.
Why are you allowed to have your name in? Or
Because
have stuff
Gabe
in-
and Foreman aren't.
Why don't I put something to
Because you're not gonna be. You're not gonna be here.
I can zoom in. Call in.
Is it the Life of Pablo too?
No, it's
What,
not.
Pablo? Are you got picked twice in a row?
There's no way. I guess there's no way to
There's no way
play
out
it
of
now.
here.
It's a banger album. Can't wait for this one.
This is probably the most.
You wanted
controversial.
Kanye.
Hey, can we cut somebody and put Greg?